What's up, y'all? This is Rom coming back at you with yet another smartphone couch video. Women don't want a man who looks better than they do. They want a man who's going to be a man. Y'all notice I capitalized that one, right? Because look, I'm going to tell you what, I'm still seeing stuff about, oh yeah, God, women want a guy who looks a bit better than they do. They want a man who's more handsome than they look good. Man, well, other than that shit, not really understanding women, and I'm going to tell you the truth, even thinking that way is low-key moist. Seriously. It's like the men are competing with the women in the looks department. No, yeah, they want a man who they think looks good, but not better than they do. I learned that game early. And if you really pay attention out here, most of the time, the woman is going to be more physically attractive than the man. You know, the woman might be looking like that hot babe or something. The man might be looking more average and shit, and they still happy. Reason why, man? Reason why women want it that way, because women are vain. Shoot, if women are around other women, they want to be the better looking one. That's how they compete. That's just a woman's nature. See, a woman is magnetic. They supposed to draw attention to them. That's how they mate. Their eggs don't leave their bodies, go get the sperm and come back. They got to draw the man to them. So that's why you have whole industries to make them look better. But the man just gotta, they like how he looks, but he don't have to look better than them. In fact, that's not really their main focus, because what's the second part of the title? They want a man who's going to be masculine. But see, here's the problem. Here's the problem. A lot of guys, they really don't know. And a lot of guys really are on the low-key level trying to compete with the women. And they really need to look into that. Because if you really out here in the world, or if you even got experience, you'll know they ain't tripping off of that like that, as long as you presentable. Because I'll say from a personal perspective, 97% of the women I dealt with look way better than me. And I'm good with that. Why the hell I'm trying to compete with the woman in that regard? I'm focused on being a man. And if you really get out here in the world, get off of being online and stuff, and just go out into the world, you're gonna see that on a normal basis. But see, you get some guys, they'll focus on the exceptions and think, oh, that's it, or some stuff they see online. Get out in the fucking world. You know, this past weekend, I'm up in New York. I'm walking around downtown Manhattan and everything, and I'm checking out the couples, you know. There's quite a few I saw, oh yeah, that woman's fine. But then the dude, he ain't looking like he gonna be some model or some shit like that. And you know what? They looking happy. Shoot, yesterday, I'm in the store. Now I'm seeing a family coming up. Man, it was that tall, slim type of white woman, right? You know, she looked like she got those model looks. She with this stocky Asian dude who was a little bit shorter, and they had kids. They had those half white / Asian kids with them, because you can just look at them and tell. And you know what? She was walking right behind him, because you know what? He was leading. He was being a man about it. See, I'm gonna tell you what. One of the biggest issues out here is everybody's looking at everything except the one thing. Just being a man. I remember a tantra master, somebody was asking him, well, how you getting all these women? He said, I'm a man. And he an older dude too. But see, a lot of guys, that's really the biggest problem out here. A lot of men ain't standing up like men. They ain't being man. What is a man? Assertive, aggressive, protective, you know? He's thinking, you know, he's being active. The very nature of masculinity is being active. In fact, while everybody else is talking about Looks, money, and status, what do I say? I say physique, charisma, and then masculinity. That's where the real power is. Because if a man is masculine, a truly masculine, that put on a frame, because even saying putting on a frame is saying you're pretending. But just being out there, just doing it, being assertive, being aggressive. Indeed, a lot of men are having trouble with women because they're not assertive. They're not aggressive. They're not taking charge of the situation. Because whether you're talking cold approach or even choosing signals, you still got to approach. Because the woman's nature is, in most cases, most cases they're not going to approach. In most cases, even if they come up to you and be like, "Oh, hi," or something, they looking for you to take over. They looking for you to be a man. And that hits them on a different level. See, that masculinity hits them, because I'm going to tell you what. Women, they don't so much as see a man, they feel him. And they don't so much into all this artificial shit. Like people are talking about, oh, money and status. This shit's artificial. And then what do I always say? How many guys out here who got that money, who got that status, shoot, even looks on the surface, are having trouble because they're not hitting them on that masculine level. In fact, let me get back to that thing, because you got some guys out here trying to say, nah, you got to do all this. You got to look better than the woman. I'm going to tell you something with women. Psychologically, if they see you acting like that and you more concerned over your looks, primping more than they do, they question your masculinity. They are questioning your masculinity. Seriously, they question it. You got men out here doing their own eyebrows and shit. They going to question that shit. They are going to question. Some guys out here dressing and shit in such a way, it's Tariq Nasheed would call it sassy. They're going to question that shit. They're going to be like, all right, he a little too pretty. Does he play on our team? Then meanwhile, that rough dude and stuff who, you know what, they ain't perfect, you looking a little rough, shoot, driving women crazy. In fact, I'm going to tell you something now. And understand something. When I speak, I ain't speculating, because you get some little punk motherfucker thinking I'm speculating. Dude, I'm out here in the world, bro. I'm still out here in the world. I'm out in the streets, motherfucker, in different cities. Just in New York. Just Philly, name the city. DC, Baltimore, Atlanta, Richmond, Houston, San Diego, LA. It's always the same. If you take an honest look, who really getting the beautiful women, especially the beautiful women. Everybody want the beautiful women. The women who got in their femininity, it's going to be the men who just truly into their masculinity. That polarity is very important. You got to have that. The more feminine a woman is going to be, the more she's going to want that man to be masculine. Now, if he happen to look like supermodel of the world, you know what, whatever, as long as he's masculine about that shit. And then what I say, if you take an honest look as who's really getting the women out here, who really getting them, not complaining. They always going to be men about that shit. They're always going to have that masculine control. They always going to have that masculine aggressiveness. They're going to be assertive. They ain't going to wait for anything. They're going to walk with some confidence in everything. And that shit get women wet. And especially if they feminine. See, if a woman feminine in everything, she wants that assertive man. And the most beautiful women going to be feminine. Now, of course, I'm going to break down something. Y'all need to listen to this shit. Yes, you're going to get some women who want that guy who's better looking. It still happens. Not as much as guys think, but here's the issue with that. If you see a woman and she with that guy, he got that pretty boy look, or looking like he spent more time in the mirror than her, I guarantee, listen to me, I'm going to use the word guarantee. I guarantee she's a masculinized woman. Because it's all about that polarity of masculinity and femininity. See, when you get a woman who, I haven't ate this early in the morning. If you get a woman who wants that guy and he gotta look like all that, but she look like, just pay attention to their dynamic. If she look like she dominating things, if she look like she dominating things, have control, and sometimes they will even they even pay for that guy. If you see that, guarantee she's the one peeing standing up. She's the one peeing standing up. She's running everything. Whenever you see that shit, that means the man more in his feminine energy. Is that what you want to be? Because any guys talking like that, yeah, you getting some masculinized women. When you get that woman who might be a 4 going out with some 7, she paying for shit. She peeing standing up. I don't know why a man would want that. The most a man could do with that woman, they could be business partners. Hey, they could shoot the breeze and all of that. Because that masculine femininity polarity isn't there. That shit ain't gonna work. That shit ain't gonna work. And any guys who think that shit, they need to take a long, hard look in the mirror. And they also need to ask themselves, in fact, I would tell them to do this. Ask themselves, how were the women behaving? If the women were ultra aggressive, if the women would take charge, and you dealing with that shit, because it's like a flipping of roles right there. You got that out there. You got that out there. You got those women out there. They just so much in their masculine energy that the Amazon's woman. I've talked about that before. Amazon women, shadow men. In fact, I'm gonna put a link in the description box to on-demand video, Amazon women and shadow men. A true Amazon woman, she ain't gonna want that strong man. In fact, she'll probably, even I don't care what she think he look like, what he got going on, they gonna butt heads. She ain't gonna feel something for him because she trying to dominate too much. So a woman like that, yeah, she'll want a man who looking better than her, who in the mirror more than her, because the roles are reversed there. The roles are reversed. She's the dominant one. But if you're gonna follow the natural blueprint, now the man's gonna be more dominant. Now, regardless of his bone structure or whatever, he's gonna be dominant. Now, yeah, the woman might think he look good, but she's supposed to be a pretty one. And let's be real on something. How many of y'all dudes want a woman who you look better than? Do you want that? Like I said, 97% of the women I dealt with, 97, I have no problem saying they look better than I do. I have no problems. And I'm good with that. No man should have a problem with that. And yeah, there was that 3%. That's how I learned this shit. And that shit didn't work out, because then all of a sudden we like, no matter what, I was like, oh, hold up. That might have been some dates or something. That might have been some dates. I ain't even had sex with them. So, because when I say dealt with, I don't mean just sexually either. Might have been talking to him or something. And it's like, hold up, this is like dealing with one of the fellas. Fuck this. Shit. And I don't see why any man should want that. Because that's the thing, ultimately. When you talk about it, like you know what? Here's something, because a lot of times you get some guys, they'll see a beautiful woman with a guy that they consider average looking or even ugly, right? And they try and figure out, oh, it must be his money. It must be his money or something. No, motherfucker, he probably behaving like a man. That's why you get some women, they get with those roughnecks. That's why they get with them. And as much as I promote body game, and I've seen plenty of women, they'll get the guy they get with, he might look like a strong man, look like he work out, but he ain't gonna be like that aesthetic looking fitness model motherfucker. Seriously. Unless he also like truly masculine, truly manly. But even then, a lot of times you don't see it. I see that in person. Like I said, I saw that yesterday. The woman looking like she could have been a model. She had that slimness, everything. That Asian dude was a little bit shorter than her, stocky. But walking behind him, not beside him, behind him, and stuff, nice and quiet, dragging along the two half white, half Asian kids. Because you took one look at him and said, yeah, those is kids. And I've seen that plenty just where I live, and I've seen it in other places. But they're always manly, they're always assertive. And see, ultimately, that's the most important thing. And that's really what we need in this society. That's really what we need. Now, I know people always be like, well, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to print. I'll say, no, man, be a man. Be a man. Now, you still want to take care of yourself. Yeah, you still want to take care of yourself. But if you that man about it, I'm going to tell you what, that gets so, I'm going to tell you what. If you don't have like those so-called Chad genetics, or be a man about it. Women gonna respond to it. Even the height thing. I've known some guys who were short statured, but they were just masculine. They would still take charge, and they had the women walking behind them. The women going crazy. See, understand something. Women, at their core, they're gonna be feminine. At their core, that's gonna respond. Their energy is going to respond. Women want to be passive. It goes down just to the very core of how we were even born. That egg is sitting there chilling. For the race to go on, that egg's going to sit there and chilling. Women have to develop the traits, the passive traits, to draw the man to them. And then, they have sex. And medical science has shown that there's a spark, literal spark, when that sperm hits that egg. Women are magnetic to draw the man to them. Men have power. Like a true man is moving through the world with some power, presence. And this goes beyond his physicality. In fact, when I talk about body game, and I said this at the Game Kings 2 seminar, when I gave my presentation, I said body game is really the vehicle for a man. The vehicle. Reason why I can do all these videos, travel around, still move with some vigor, I'm working out. I can still do stuff. Now I know some dudes, you get some detractors or something, they be like, you old. Let's get in the gym, motherfucker. Let's lace up, motherfucker. Let's get on the field. Football hitting drills. Yeah. Because, I'm old, but I got more vitality than any young motherfucker talking shit. And that's why a man's supposed to be. That's why you got that old man strength. That's why you got some old cats and stuff. They've been men all their lives. Because I look at my father, 82, got 3 women. That's because he's still throwing the shit up. He's still in his manhood. And that's how it's supposed to be. If you want to do that, because see, that's the main thing. If you look at what I talk about, I'm telling you to develop that. I'm telling you to develop that. Don't get caught up in like, oh, well, I'm short, or, I got to be 10% body fat, all that. Yeah, all that's good if you get it, but if you not, still be a man about it, you're going to get attention. The women they going to be like, hey, they going to think about it. They going to be like, oh, wait a minute, hold up. They got to feel it. They got to feel that, ooh. And that's some shit, that's some just basic, that's basic, but it's not talked about enough. And I've talked about it before, but I think I need to even talk about it even more. When women they got to feel that umph. And women got to feel that umph. When they feel that umph from a man, they pay attention, Like, I give you an example. I remember when I was still married with my co-parent, we had Harlem Book Fair in New York, right? Now, I had this guy, he came up, and he was saying, well, I'm not in your book. And I was like, well, I don't know you, sir, and, I just speak in general. Well, I'm not in your book. Well, I don't think you are, but you really don't know what's in the book. And me and him, it got to the point, me and him were about to get in a fight, right? Me and him were about to fight, go to blows. But he you know what, I don't know what's up, but he decided just to walk away. And I ain't gonna lie, I had to chill out for about 10 minutes. I had to chill out. But then my wife said to me, she said, oh, these women staring at you now, smiling. But it was all that energy and shit. It was all that energy. So That's the most important thing. If your ass, look, you got a lot of guys caught up about their height, their looks, shoot, even their body fat or something. Get into your manhood. Get into your manhood. You know? Because I use myself for an example. I was getting women built like a fitness model. I was getting women like when my weight was up at 270. But the thing that stayed the same was just being a man about it. And I always challenge if you got a problem with it, because one thing about a man, he ready to defend what he believe in, stand on with his fist. If you got a problem with that, come look me in the eye and say what you got to say. Seriously. And any man should be that way. Any man should be that way. That's part of being a man. Sometimes you got to be that warrior. But then at the same time, and I talked about this in my book, Sexual Chemistry, you got to be that warrior. But sometimes sometimes you got baby girl or something, you got to be protective of her. But the main thing is just being assertive, aggressive, disciplined, got that willpower. Have that control over yourself at the minimum. And even when you face something, you gotta have that warrior. You know, you gotta have that hunter. You know, even in the bedroom, women want that man going to dominate. Hell, even the masculine women want that man who's going to dominate. They want you to take over the bedroom, throw them around and shit. You know? Hell, sometimes they'll pay for it. You get some of those fetish communities, they paying some guy to dominate them. Understand that. And all it is just that energy. Very nature of masculine energy is to dominate its own territory. You know, to expand that boundary. So if you're doing that, boom, 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 boom. So, you know, don't be caught up in like, you know, I titled this thing about, you know, women that want a man looks better than they do. But then I told you what they actually looking for. And all you had to do is be presentable. That's why you get a lot of women, you know, they say they ain't tripping over. Yeah, they checking out your looks. But it don't necessarily mean you gotta look like supermodel of the world either. You know? Because one of the things is, even when they looking at your looks, they ain't even so much looking at the aesthetics, but they looking at how you hold your head. They looking at how you look them in the eye. How you look them in the eye. They listening to your tone of voice, how you carrying yourself. They looking at all that. So they looking at, they trying to assess your level of masculinity. So that's the thing. You develop that, everything else will fall into place. Everything else will fall into place. And that's really the problem we got out here. That's the real problem we have out here. Masculinity isn't encouraged. So, but whatever. You rolling with me, I'm encouraging. That's why I got my sovereign Saturdays and stuff. And really, part of a man is developing, controlling his own boundary, having that sovereignty. You got that, boom, you're going to get something. You're going to get something. There's going to be something. You got to have a woman looking at you, be like, ooh, get that feel good. That man got to be younged out. Younged out. Yin and yang, the more young he is, he's going to get something. He's going to get something. You know? Shoot, even the Amazon woman, she come around that man, she gonna be switching up to feminine. Hell, even you get some butch lesbians out there, they'll mess with a masculine man, you know, or want to do, and you know what? They'll switch this shit up too. That's how deep it is. So, anyway, I want you to really think about that, and ultimately, you know, when I talk about body game, when I talk about everything I'm talking about is going towards being a man, capital letters. All right. So that's all I have for today. Yeah, y'all know I don't do. Hey, y'all know I don't. I got my pre-recorded videos on the weekends, because also part of a man being a man is once you have those children, once you have those seeds, you spend time with them. I always spend time with my sons. So, you know. So anyway, that's all I got for now. Y'all have a good weekend. Peace and